Welcome to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. This is your podcast for all things hockey. On this podcast, we talk about past history to the modern day and what you can do to grow the sport. I am your host, Adam Rothstein. All right, let's get to the show. And welcome back to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast, or just welcome if you are brand new here. So, this is episode 82, and today we are talking about Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. On paper, you would think a 5-2 loss was bad, but no, this was not a bad loss for the Panthers, and I think Paul Maurice has the right idea of just taking a breath and just relaxing a bit because, it's not the end of the world. They lost Game 1 to Boston, and then they still managed to win this the series in 7. At TD Garden, mind you. So, Matt Stone and Whitecloud, I do want to talk about them first. I think if you were watching the game in the third period of Game 1, Whitecloud got a lucky shot. The defense for the Panthers was a bit tied up down low, and Whitecloud took advantage of that, and Bobrovsky was screened, and he scored on it. And then on a lucky pass, Matt Stone got it, and that's pretty much it there on the fourth goal. And Tkachuk had a shot that hit the inside of the post in the first period. Barkov had a similar situation in the second period, and had those went in, it's 4-4 at least, and not to mention Adin Hill's terrific save in the I believe it was the first period. Hold on a minute. Let me just verify that real quickly. If I could just, as well. If I could just verify that as well. I believe that was the case as well in the first period, if I'm not mistaken. My bad. And I'm just looking this over now. The second period, and I know I'm going out of order today, Anthony Duclair got a shot off of the face-off, and it managed to get by Adin Hill. He did not get down into the butterfly position quick enough, and thus it went through his 5-hole. And I was thinking, okay, it's 12 seconds at the end of the second period. They'll be fine. They'll pull Bobrovsky at the end of it. They just have to hold them to a 1-goal lead, and they'll find a way to get it back, and Matthew Tkachuk will win it in overtime. I was really wrong. Now it was very unexpected that Duclair got the shot off of the face-off. I think that was a little unexpected, but he managed to just get himself into position and just get the shot off. And I thought, okay, you have a shot. And then as soon as it got past Adin Hill, I was like, right on, my man, right on. And I was cheering up and down. And I was just so happy that it just got through. And then, okay, we're going to the third period with momentum, personally. And there was that as well. As well, too. So recapping the other goals real quickly, recapping the goals and everything as well. I really do think that Whitecloud and Stone really were making this up. Eichel was certainly a little bit of a force to be reckoned with as well during this, but Mark Stahl, I believe, Mark Stahl, if I'm not mistaken, Yeah, he has been through. Hold on a minute. Eric Stahl got it as well. Eric Stahl got it. My bad. Getting that ready to go, being the old guy, being the veteran on the team, to have won a Stanley Cup and to just get it going for them, it's like, okay, and when you start off as a 1-0 game, you have momentum going in. Marcia Schultz certainly thought, okay, you have momentum, you old fart. I'm going to take it and raise you one, and we end the period with a 1-1 score. Shea Theodore opened nearly halfway through the second period, got it as well, and made it. And you think to yourself, it's not the end of the world if they lose this in overtime, because I'd expected them to go into overtime as well. Eichel got the assist on the empty netter, and that was the big dagger to the heart at the end of it, at the third period. So sorry for the scattered brain this morning, but I have to do it as well. I just had to comment on what I thought were the more important points. But the overall takeaway that should happen that you should take away from this is that this is not over. And the 5-2 box score does not represent how close this game was. Because remember, 3 shots that go in there that Adin Hill doesn't get, thank his lucky stars and stripes for the post shots. And by the way, those were inside the post, and it just ricocheted off, and he just got lucky. Okay, Adin Hill got lucky. He got lucky, and he got lucky again when he had his his blocker stop in the first period. And man, I should definitely verify that right now. Okay, and I'm like looking this up. I believe it might have been the second period when that happened. Let me get that up. Google.com. All right, but by the way, he had his blocker stop, okay? He had a panel stop. Yeah. He had it down there as well. And okay, and reaching behind you like that when you're already in butterfly position yoga instructors can't do that, okay? And it's not a Neo from the Matrix thing like Sergei Bobrovsky's been, but he was just flexible enough to do it, when he did. And I'm just I don't know if I'm just gonna hold off on this real quickly, but just gonna look over this. So if you hear this in the background, actually no, I'm gonna pause this right here. And by the way, it was the second period. It was not the first period. My mistake again coming into this, and that changes the momentum. You go in there and it's in there as well, and you find a way to end the period with with a lead, or you at least tie it after that. It's very different, and that goal gives them more momentum going into the third, assuming that Adin Hill didn't have the flexibility he did. So if you're a Panthers fan out there, I don't want you to worry. Let's be like Paul Maurice said. Take a breath, okay? Just take a breath and relax. The Panthers were in this position once before, and no one expected them to beat Boston, okay? And initially, remember, I thought Pittsburgh was going to get in, and they were just going to have like a 5-game series and lose, and Crosby would be like, okay, maybe my time's coming up. And I was going to be talking about Crosby and just, making Crosby jokes, but that did not happen. We have Matthew Clutch in this, okay? We have a game tonight. We have got one game tonight coming out on I believe TNT, if I'm not mistaken. TNT will it as well. So we have a game tonight in Vegas. Vegas has an early. They have a 6:30 start local time, and if you're down in Sunrise or if you're anywhere living on the East Coast, it's an 8:30 start time. Or I'm sorry, it's an 8 o'clock start time for the June 5th on TNT. And it's not anything, they're going to go in there and I think they've kind of figured this out. They have to just keep, get bodies out of the paint right now. They have to push them. They have to give Sergei room. They need to make sure that he doesn't get screened. And they have to play this properly, and it's going to be tough for them. But if they can manage to just be a little more physical, just get them out of the paint and give Bobrovsky some space, then I think guess what? He's going to be Neo from the Matrix again, and he will win the Conn Smythe when that happens. And he'll win the Stanley Cup along with that. And Bobrovsky wants this. I think Bobrovsky wants this more than Adin Hill does right now. I honestly believe it. I think the Golden Knights just, they got lucky in Game 1. And guess what? And being a Washington Capitals fan, my entire hockey experience life, guess what? Guess what? They also won Game 1, but they lost. Remember this? They lost the next 4 games. They lost the next 4 games. And they were lucky, and the only reason they got in when, they won that Game 1 was because of some bad officiating and some other plays that could have went the other way easily. Remember? If you don't remember, that's fine. But one game doesn't make a Stanley Cup champion. It's 4. It's 4 wins that you need. And Paul Maurice is so relaxed right now. He is the voice of reason. He is the voice we need for the Panthers to win this. And to top it all off, I don't know. I think it was Willie Joe Namath, and you can correct me in the comments on YouTube if you so choose, or you can just, you can message me on Twitter or something, or if you have my number or something, you can message me or something and just let me know. But the Willie Joe Namath, I believe, or whoever the head coach was of the Jets for Super Bowl III, I'm going to look this up right now. Who was the head coach of the New York Jets for Super Bowl III? Eubank, we'll call him. Guess what? They beat the Baltimore Colts in that Super Bowl. They beat the ball, and Baltimore fans had to swallow that pill without any water. Okay, they had to just put it in their mouth and swallow it whole, no water in that. And guess what? It's like when you have the mentality of we will win, relax, take a break. That usually helps. And it helped the New York Jets, even though they would become one of the laughing stocks of the NFL, many decades later. It still helps. So I think, the series is not over. the 5-2 score is no indication that they would, they were going to lose this series. And I think when Matthew Tkachuk had the game misconduct, I think that was the real dagger to the heart, not the empty netter. Okay, and then you go 5-on-5 with an empty net. It's that might even be a tougher pill to swallow than the Colts swallowing the loss to the Jets in Super Bowl III, obviously, but it's not anything. We still have, there's still going to be at least 3 more games with this, and 2 of them are going to be played in Sunrise, and I think if the Panthers go into Sunrise and at least win those 2 games, whether they win tonight or lose tonight, we got a series. We got another 2 games after that, and then it's, and then it's not the end of the world. You go into, if they can win in Sunrise, they win. I think they can win the series because, this team has been road warriors. Apparently, they just know how to be road warriors, and it's okay that that they didn't win all the time at home, and I think most of their losses actually happened at home. So the fact that it happened here, it's still not the end of the world. And you might be thinking, Adam, they have, they lost on the road for the first time in what feels like forever because, the Maple Leafs beat them at home, remember, and the last time they lost at home was Game 4 of the first round against Boston. They haven't lost since April, apparently, or they haven't lost a home game since, or they haven't lost. I'm sorry. They haven't lost a road game since April. Think about that. They go all this time without losing a road game. A road game, and not a home game, but a road game. And guess what? They're going to have home ice advantage, too. And apparently, they managed to do that against Jordan Staal, okay? And it also helps that they have the other 2 Staal brothers on their team right now. It's okay. It is okay that we have that they took that loss. I'm not worried about this. I am feeling kind of like Paul Maurice. I'm feeling a little more relaxed on this, and I'm not feeling like it's the end of the world for the Panthers. And it's like, oh man, it was a tough game to watch. I'm not gonna lie, but really, they managed to keep pace with them for 40 minutes, and the Golden Knights got lucky on 3 shots that could have been goals easy, and we have maybe a 5-4 win in that. And if you just look at the box score, you might as well be wearing blinders at that point because that is no indication that the Golden Knights are going to win. Now, remember, it's not the end at all. And I think Matthew Tkachuk is going to come into Game 2 with a fresher mind. Even after the game misconduct, he'll be fresher. He'll be ready to go. He's going to settle himself down, and he's going to play hard hockey. I don't think it's the end at all. Now, there are a few things I need from you. If you would be so kind to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the podcast, that'd be excellent. Also, please be sure to follow me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get this podcast. And rate me 5 stars, write a little review if you would be so kind. And with that being said, peace out.